Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back. I apologize for a whole week off of this podcast. My last episode was about, why I do this and why I should continue and do I really want to continue and all that kind of stuff. I I have had a wild week and a half since then, um, or roughly almost 2 weeks, I guess you can say. It's been crazy. Um, in not the good ways either. So it's last week I was going to record and just so much going on that I couldn't really comprehend what I was doing and yeah, just kind of out of schedule and didn't care to even be in front of the computer. If you haven't heard, because you may not be in the Discord community or part of my streams, my live streams, I not last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, I ended up bringing my dad to the hospital because he didn't really sound weird. He had been feeling, not great for 2 days beforehand. He had thrown up overnight and dizzy and kind of headaches for a couple days. And I called him the Wednesday evening, and I mean, my Wednesday started awesome. I ended up buying a new motorcycle recently, and that was really cool. Wednesday morning, he was supposed to come with me, but my mom came with me because he wasn't feeling good, and she just wanted to go for a road trip. So my day, I mean, I was supposed to start talk about that on the podcast, but it's a brand new motorcycle and how fun it is. But um, yeah, it's not. That's not the highlight that we're talking about, unfortunately. So that evening, I called in, and he sounded a little bit weird. His sluggish speech and just kind of like he sounded like he had been drinking beer all day, and he's not a beer drinker by any means like that. He might have one or two a week. So I convinced him. He's a stubborn, hard-headed Italian old guy. So he's 70 years old. So I convinced him to go to the hospital with me, not my mom. I think that's kind of what did it for him. He's like, well, if I don't have to go with the wife who's gonna be worried like crazy and nag about whatever, because that's how he says. And although my mom means well, always does. He said, okay. So I brought him, and they figured out that he had a potential stroke. There's some issues with his artery, and that's probably what caused all the issues and the symptoms he was having at the time. He stayed in the hospital for a couple of days, and he was released. But then on Sunday, I was there for dinner with my family, and just before leaving, he felt a little off, but he was okay. And then a couple hours later, while I was live, actually, my mom gave me a call and said that she was calling the ambulance to come and pick him up because he couldn't speak very well. Um, he was very, very dizzy, very huge headache, unable to really walk because of the dizziness and the balance issues. He would always fall to his left. Needless to say, he went to the hospital and he had another stroke. So this time a little bit more severe. Since that time, it was a week on Sunday, so it's been just over a week, and now that he's been in the hospital after that one. So we spent what feels like a good 2 weeks in the hospital almost, but since then, he has had these symptoms of leaning to his left, balance issues. He's getting better. His walking has gotten better. He wasn't able to even walk or sit up straight initially for the first couple days, but he does have issues with his throat. There's um, just a lot of stuff going on. His vision is blurred on the left eye. He sees double from far away, which is not good because that means, I mean, you're not driving or nothing like that, right? Which you don't drive after a stroke regardless. They ban you, I guess you can say, from driving for 30 days after a stroke, regardless of vision issues. But um, so he's suffering from some voice issues, swallowing issues, which have gotten better, walking issues, which have gotten better, but still a lot of questions to have answered. Um, and a lot of answers not coming very quickly. It's not a quick process, and everyone that might not be in Canada always jokes about our free healthcare and whatnot, but it's insanely slow. And to get MRI scans that he needs because he has a defibrillator in his chest, we're just waiting and waiting and waiting, and it could be up to a couple of years from what I've heard this morning. So it's really tough to just sit here and just hope that everything is going to go well. I mean, a stroke can result in so many different symptoms and so many different, I want to say, uh, side effects, right? My mom had a stroke a little while ago, and she came out of it with literally nothing, no side effects, no nothing, and hers was pretty bad. But my dad, I guess you could say different story, and every stroke is different, and every stroke is unique. But with that being said, um, that's been going on top of other things with family stuff and my grandma and whatnot. But all of this while having to stream, and all of this while having to stay positive and fun and energetic for stream. And everyone has always said, like, it's okay if you're not energetic and not, we understand, but the problem is, if we're not, then, well, it suffers. The stream suffers, the channel suffers, the community suffers. um, when you're the streamer and you're the one that's always usually hype and exciting and fun and funny and joking and bringing the light to people's days, when you're not the light, then there's no backup, right? There's nothing like that. So streams, I feel like, have been suffering. um, if you're listening to this, I don't really talk about this, but this is my lowest month in a, or not lowest, but I want to say slowest month in terms of multiple different stats, I guess you can say, in months, in half a year or more, I would say. So it's, I guess, I mean, there's never a good time to feel like you're not doing your job as a streamer. There's never a good time for that at all. But it's definitely a lot harder with all the things going on, because you don't feel focused regardless, and then you start blaming yourself, and you start, saying, well, listen, it's, um, everything's happening with my family. No wonder I'm not focused. I'm not able to be there properly. I had to take some time off. Um, Yada yada yada. So a lot happening in the last couple weeks. Um, I wish I could take time off. I wish I could take a whole week off and just be there and just hang out and help my family and help my mom and help my grandma. And I'm helping them today. I mean, today's my day off. It's Monday. I don't stream on Mondays. I'm gonna help move some stuff for my grandma that she got. She's being placed in an elderly home, like a full time care home, this coming week, which is awesome for the family. That's been one of the positive bits of news we've had this last week and a half. So, um, yeah, just lots going on, and it's really hard to stream. And I've shared that on stream. I'm not the type of person that's like, I'm perfectly fine and everything's okay and life is great, when it's not. Mind you, things could be worse, and you always remind yourself of that, of like the fact that, well, guess what? I mean, yeah, my dad could be paralyzed. He could be non-speaking, non-verbal. He could be in a coma. He could be dead. So when you really think about it, it could be worse, but you try not to think about the unanswered questions and the fact that you're just still waiting and waiting for answers. So it's tough. It's been tough. So if you're listening to this, I still don't know if I'm going to continue all these episodes. I know a lot of people, there's some people that commented on the last episode of, why am I doing this? And I guess that's the reason why I'm doing this. So, um, thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. It does help a lot to kind of just be able to have a place where I just chat and just I'm here by myself recording this and kind of sharing my thoughts and getting them out on uh not paper, but virtual paper, I guess you can say. It helps a lot. So yeah, that's that. Um, Stay tuned for more updates. If you are listening to this and you've never been to a stream, feel free to come and hang out. It would be awesome to have you. And with that being said, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time. Cheers.